Hey guys, it's Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin, we had the Changeling. What were their names? Lord Godwin. Right? Godwin? Lord Godwin and his daughter Elena came to Camelot, and Elena was supposed to be married to Arthur. However, this was all a plot by the She, secretly a plot by the She, so that the She that was inside of Elena would become the queen, basically. However, neither Elena nor Arthur really wanted to do it, so they backed out. And before that, Merlin and Gaius did get the She out of Elena and blew up 3 people, I think. 2 She and 1 pixie, basically. So, yeah, that was pretty much it. Overall, it was a fun episode. I actually did enjoy it. Yeah. And now to go into my whole redirect spiel. If you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, it is unfortunately not in this YouTube video due to copyright issues that I've had in the past. So what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment on this video. There will be a link there. You go, you click that, and it will take you to my 10-minute reaction highlight where the footage is in the corner. It's all edited and nice and good. And you can go, you can watch that, you can hopefully have a good time, and when you're done with that, you can pop right back over here for the discussion. Alternatively, if you are a member of my Patreon, you can watch this video, this reaction, completely unedited for just $5 a month over on my Patreon page, which is also down in the description. Yeah, and that's basically my whole spiel. Yeah, this is where I say no spoilers. I don't remember if I said that before or not, but I'll say it again. No spoilers. And with that being said, we might as well get right into this episode of Merlin. Here we go. Alrighty. Good episode. Man, I don't know how many more episodes I can take of just teasing me, just completely teasing me on the Arthur Guinevere relationship. Let's see. I'm trying to see, and Darby wants in, of course. Okay, let's actually do the discussion here. Yeah, I'm looking at, like always, I'm looking at one of our guest actors, and yeah, the guy that plays Elian. I almost spelled it correctly too. I spelled it with an I instead of a Y. But yeah, it says Doctor Who, it just doesn't. But it didn't say who he played in Doctor Who, so I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments if I would recognize him. Keeping in mind that I'm only up to the end of season 7 of Doctor Who. So, anyway, I don't know how many more episodes I can take of just a relationship that just can't happen. You know, how many episodes are going to end with the two of them, you know, longingly looking at each other and being like, well, we do the things we do for the ones we love, and being like, but things can't happen. It's like, I don't know how much more of this I can take, you know? I swear we've had 3 of those in this season alone. So, and I do like, actually, that events of the last episode sort of, you know, affect this episode just by, you know, last episode we had Morgana learning about Arthur and Guinevere, and, you know, I remember last episode saying, like, you know, they're playing ominous music when she's sort of talking about it, and it's like, what is she gonna do about it? Apparently she was gonna do this. Use it as leverage, because she is so evil now. she is so evil. At the same time, though, like it maybe one of the most evil things she has done is is try to screw with Arthur and Guinevere, because the two of them don't deserve it. The only reason they're doing this is so that Arthur will die and she can take the throne. But that's the thing, she has no real beef with Arthur. Definitely not a beef with Guinevere. So this is the one thing where it's like, oh, you've gone too far now, messing with them, with that relationship. And I don't know, it's like everything else I honestly is kind of justified. Uther is justified, Merlin is justified, Gaius to an extent is justified. So it's just I don't know. I feel like this, though, might be the step over the line for Morgana affecting, trying to take on Arthur and Guinevere, So, yeah, that's a little too evil, Like, she's just doing it for leverage. And I guess, with Arthur, that's the thing, is that with Arthur, it's, I guess, you know what? She is trying to put an end to gambling on him, Because that's what we've been saying for a lot of this series, is that everyone seems to be gambling on Arthur, They're gambling on him to be the great king, Morgana isn't anymore. Morgana, Morgause, and Senrid aren't doing that anymore. They are now gambling on Morgana, which makes a lot more sense, So, yeah. Going for best couple, going after our best couple like that, like, this is the first truly evil thing she's done. Because, she even says, like, when Merlin's trying to call her out, being like, I don't know why you would want to hurt your friends, and she's just like, no, you don't understand it, but you will poison them. It's like, you know what, I do understand her bitterness towards Merlin because she did trust him for a long time, and then he poisoned her, It's tricky, man. It is tricky. But you can also say that's a more of the, needs of the many sort of thing, because to an extent it is a needs of the many thing, where, yes, he had to essentially sacrifice one of his friends, but he did it to save all of Camelot. So, it's all tricky. So going a bit more into the notes here, the first thing I wrote down was Elien, Gwen's brother, who we've never seen before, but sure enough, he is here. Now, I do kind of wonder, is Elien one of the Knights of the Round Table? I don't know. I don't know too many of the names of the Knights of the Round Table, other than Lancelot and Gawain, for sure. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe Elien is supposed to be one of the knights, because, I mean, they could do that. They could definitely do that. And, he's got the sword fighting, definitely. So, Darby's squeaking. Someone probably came home and he's excited that they're home. So, I'm going to give this a sec. Darby gets that way after a lot, because during the day he's stuck with me, just me. So when other people come home, he's excited. But yeah, Elien, he definitely could be. I could see, but again, I don't have like a list. I don't know the knights off memory, other than, again, Lancelot and Gawain. But now we've had them, so maybe he could. He's sticking around at least. See, that's the thing where that is the one thing where it's like, maybe he won't. Like, maybe he won't actually be one of the knights, is the fact that he's actually sticking around. Whereas Lancelot and Gawain, they did not stick around after their episode. So, I don't know, but maybe. It obviously, it doesn't have to be like that for all of them, and especially because we only have so many episodes, I think, by the way, this is the halfway point of the season. This is also, I think, the halfway point of the show. I think we've gone halfway now. We are halfway through Merlin. That's kind of crazy to think about. So, yeah, we're on... Well, I don't want to say the final stretch. We still have another half to go, but we've got a little while. We've got a little while, but yeah, we can, I don't know, see the end? Maybe not. I have no idea. Anyway. So yeah, Elian, interesting addition. I did like, when he was talking with Gwen, I completely bought it. And I like that it wasn't just, oh, it's just a brother. And it's like, no, this is the brother that, kind of screws things up a lot and is out of touch and everything. So that was interesting, just their conversations, like, in the cell. And Gwen even saying, like, it has, it's been 4 years and since, we last talked to each other. And he's like, well, I never really found the right moment. And it's like, yeah, when our dad died? Would that be the right moment? It's like, yeah, actually, wait a sec. Because he did die. And that was in season 1, so that was a while ago. So, oh yeah, I wrote down the wager, the cover story they did. I thought that was really funny. Yeah, the wager, so... The cover story, because they always have to have a cover story with Uther. They always have to have some sort of a cover story with Uther. And I like this one made the most sense. So it was 2 silk dresses that Arthur had to give to Morgana for this wager. So that's why he had to leave Camelot for a few days. That was clever. I like that. And then at the end, when Gwen comes in with those 2 dresses, basically helping out with the cover story. So, that was funny. I wrote down the camp. The camp scene was pretty good. And just that, just that conversation between Merlin and Morgana when they were, gathering firewood. That was, intense. Because, every look that Morgana gives to Merlin is just so intense, so, it's so terrifying, actually. It's just the coldest stare, daggers are coming out of her eyes every time. So, yeah, that entire conversation was just tense. And she did make some good points in there, with, being like, well, hey, you should understand what it's like to hurt your friends. You tried to poison me, which it does show you Morgana's side. And you do kind of understand it. Unfortunately, you can really understand Morgana's side. It's just the fact that she's gone too far with what she does, She's gone way too far, too cold as well. She went in there, later to Senrid and Morgause and was just like, why haven't you killed Arthur? Just kill him already, And even there, like, wow, you've really grown cold, haven't you? So yeah. Which, to be fair, she is right. She knows Arthur, that it is dangerous to leave him alive, basically, because he can find a way out. And I'm so happy, because when it's like, oh, the prince has escaped, and I was like, he's on the ceiling, and sure enough, he's just up there, and it's like, ah! And there you go. So, but anyway, but yes, the camp scene, very tense. And just like as they were like getting closer to each other and really like staring each other down, I was like, God, what if they just hate fucked right here? It's like, that would be really weird if these 2 like now mortal enemies just started banging. But it's like, oh, honestly, it's like there was villainous, like there was like bitter enemy tension and a lot of sexual tension between the 2 of them. It was very odd, I wrote down the tunnels. I thought that was clever, going through the tunnels to try to get up there. Although it didn't work, and, Morgana had the ring. The ring was kind of clever. I don't quite understand how the ring worked, because it kind of looked like it was just, shooting up a flare, but how would that help? I don't know, because there were people that were coming from the opposite end as well. I don't know how it worked, but it was interesting. And then the last thing I wrote down was the escape. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, again, them, Arthur being on the ceiling and then tackling them. And I like to, Merlin takes a sword and then just slashes that guy in his back. And Arthur's just like, never cease to amaze me, man. So I like that. And also, sort of the confrontation. Arthur didn't really do much in that confrontation with Senred and Morgause. I was hoping for a real full-on fight between Arthur and Senred. I thought that was going to be so cool, but they didn't do that. He was, using Morgana as leverage, and then Morgause was using the flame pillar, and then Merlin, signature move, Merlin blew it up, but knocked them all back. That was like his biggest explosion, though. But that was cool. And it worked out for, getting Morgana and then running. And I like to, Morgana's like, oh, my ankle. It's like, is that really her ankle? Or I don't think it really is. Even, Merlin was just like, I know what you're doing. You're trying to slow us down. And then, she tried it on Arthur. It's like, oh, it's my ankle. And he's just like, screw it. Just grabbed her and left. So that was hilarious. I did like that. Yeah. And they all escaped, and we're keeping Elian, which is cool. And he's a sword fighter and a blacksmith. So I hope we use him. Honestly, I hope he is one of the Knights at the Round Table. I have no idea, but maybe he is. Maybe I'll look up a list of the Knights after this video. Maybe. We'll see. But that's pretty much all I wrote down. Yeah, really good episode. Really did enjoy it. Man, Morgana is such a villain, though. And this is the one thing I can't forgive her for, for taking on the relationship, for trying to abuse the relationship of Arthur and Guinevere. That's no good, So, but yeah, that is pretty much it. Really enjoyed it. We're halfway through the season, and we're halfway through the show. Let's see what will happen in the other half of the show. So with all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.